To start a cut more easily by a hacksaw blade is to A. Turn the saw blade at right angles to the saw frame. B. File a nick where the cut is to be started. C. Form a tapered hole in the bottom of the workpiece. D. Angle of taper formed by the center line of the screw and crest of the thread. The answer is B. File a nick where the cut is to be started. To use a hacksaw for cutting is more effective when pressure is applied on the A. Backward stroke, B. Sideward stroke, C. Forward stroke, D. All of the above. The answer is C. Forward stroke. If using a chisel or similar tool, you should A. Be certain it is non-sparkling type. B. Wear safety glasses. C. Allow movement in other direction. D. Control the diameter of thread cut. The answer is B. Wear safety glasses. The temper is likely to be drawn out on the chisel edge when you A. Grind the cutting angle too small. B. Grind it for long period of time with much pressure. C. Control the diameter of thread cut. D. Be certain it is non-sparkling type. The answer is B. Grind it for long period of time with much pressure. The thing to do with chisel that has a mushroomed head is to A. Remove the ragged edges by grinding. B. Do not strike the mushroomed head portion. C. Grind the cutting angle too small. D. Control the diameter of thread cut. The answer is A. Remove the ragged edges by grinding. To clean a metal file that has become clogged with fillings is said to be pinned by using A. Pick, B. Oil stone, C. Dressing tool, D. Chisel. The answer is A. Pick. A file that will produce a fine finish when draw filling is the A. Mill cut file, B. Second cut file, C. Double cut file, D. All of the above. The answer is A. Mill cut file. The outcome when the high ppm alarm is actuated in an automatic oily bilge water separator is that the A. Fuel oil purifier will stop, B. Bilge pump suction is shut, C. Overboard discharge is shut, D. All of the above. The answer is C. Overboard discharge is shut. What is the purpose of the expansion tank in a closed-type jacket cooling water system of a diesel engine? A. To accommodate for an increase in water volume. B. To increase the pressure of the jacket cooling. C. To prevent seawater leakage to stuffing box. D. To cool the shaft. The answer is A. To accommodate for an increase in water volume. The type of electric light fittings is used in pipe tunnels is A. Shockproof, B. Flameproof, C. Waterproof, D. All of the above. The answer is B. Flameproof. The cause if there is a charge air pressure drop in a generator engine is A. Turbocharger air filter fouled, B. Fouled nozzle ring of the turbocharger, C. Do not silence the alarm so the other engineer can hear, D. Switch on the dead man alarm upon entering the control room. The answer is A. Turbocharger air filter fouled. In coolers zinc anode protects A. Iron, B. Bronze, C. Platinum, D. Copper. The answer is A. Iron. In a 7-day period, the minimum standard rest of an officer in charge of the engineering watch must be A. 50 hours, B. 60 hours, C. 70 hours, D. 80 hours. The answer is C. 70 hours. The minimum standard rest of rating forming part of an engineering watch within a 24-hour period should be A. 10 hours, B. 8 hours, C. 6 hours, D. 12 hours. The answer is A. 10 hours. In relieving time, the outgoing in charge of the engineering watch should A. Check that their reliever is capable to carry out watchkeeping duties, B. Stop the main engine before relieving time, C. Hand over the main engine telegraph, D. None of the above. The answer is A. Check that their reliever is capable to carry out watchkeeping duties. If there is sufficient basis that the relieving officer is not capable of watchkeeping duties, the outgoing in charge of the engineering watch should A. Notify the chief engineer officer, B. Stop the main engine immediately, C. Hand over the main engine telegraph, D. Fouled nozzle ring of the turbocharger. The answer is A. Notify the chief engineer officer. Every member of the engineering watch should have adequate knowledge of the 1. Use of appropriate internal communication. 2. Escape routes from machinery spaces. 3. Location of firefighting equipment. A1 only, B2 only, C3 only, D1, 2, and 3. The answer is D1, 2, and 3. Before taking over the engineering watch while the ship is underway, relieving officers of the engineering watch should satisfy themselves regarding 1. Special requirements to sanitary system disposal. 2. Availability of firefighting appliances. 3. State of completion of engine room log. 4. Standing orders of the chief engineer officer. A1 and 2. B2 and 3. C3 and 4. D1, 2, 3, and 4. The answer is D1, 2, 3, and 4. Relieving engineer watch officers when underway should be familiar with the 1. Condition of main and auxiliary system. 2. Level of fuel in the service tank. 3. Potential adverse condition resulting from bad weather. 4. Nature of work being performed on the machinery. AI and 2. B2 and 3. C3 and 4. D1, 2, 3, and 4. The answer is D1, 2, 3, and 4. In maneuvering situation and at bridge control mode, what precautions should be observed? A. Chief engineer officer and the officer in charge of the engineer watch should be in the machinery spaces. B. Chief engineer officer and second engineer officer must be at the bridge. C. Second engineer officer and the third engineer officer shall be doing maintenance. D. None of the above. The answer is A. Chief engineer officer and the officer in charge of the engineer watch should be in the machinery spaces. The master or person in charge of a vessel is required to submit a casualty report of an international grounding under what condition? A. At the owner's discretion. B. If it creates a hazard to navigation. C. If the grounding lasts over 48 hours. D. None of the above. The answer is B. If it creates a hazard to navigation. The emergency care for an electrical burn victim is to A. Flood the burn with water for 2 minutes. B. Brush away the charred skin and wrap the burned area. C. Cover the burned area with a clean cloth and transport the patient to medical facility. D. All of the above. The answer is C. Cover the burned area with a clean cloth and transport the patient to medical facility. The class of fire that probably occur on the boiler room bilges is A. A. Class A. B. Class B. C. Class C. D. Class D. The answer is B. Class B. In a typical automatic fire alarm system, which of the listed actions /S will cause an indication of a fire to be given in the annunciator cabinet? 1. A rise in temperature will activate the thermostat. 2. The fire alarm test push button is operated. 3. A manual fire alarm box is activated. A1 only. B2 only. C3 only. D1, 2, and 3. The answer is D1, 2, and 3. Usually fire hose should be stowed with the A. Female end connected to the fire hydrant. B. Male end attached to the fire hydrant. C. Both male and female end connected to the fire hydrant. D. None of the above. The answer is A. Female end connected to the fire hydrant. To avoid the spread of fire by convection is to A. Close all openings to the area. B. Shut off all electrical power. C. Switch on the dead man alarm upon entering the control room. D. Leave the UMS selector switch to UMS mode. The answer is A. Close all openings to the area. To do in the event of a small bunker oil spill on deck occurring while fueling, is to A. Cover the area with sawdust. B. Cover the area with foam. C. Close all opening to the area. D. All of the above. The answer is A. Cover the area with sawdust. The appropriate precautions that should be taken when an engineer on duty enters a UMS mode operated engine room due to an alarm is to A. Switch on the dead man alarm upon entering the control room. B. Leave the UMS selector switch to UMS mode. C. Cover the area with sawdust. D. Cover all the opening to the area. The answer is A. Switch on the dead man alarm upon entering the control room. What component in the control room is the entire housing of the computers, controls, and visual signals are located? A. Console. B. Deck. C. Controller. D. Engine. The answer is A. Console. What deck to be the pressure of emergency fire pump tested? A. Highest deck. B. Lowest deck. C. Main deck. D. All of the above. The answer is A. Highest deck. When there is a fire inside the engine room, the fuel oil service pump be switched off at A. Accessible place outside the engine room. B. The code 2 room. C. The emergency generator room. D. Main deck. The answer is A. Accessible place outside the engine room. The reason why the bowl of a fuel oil purifier fails to open for sludge discharge is A. Clogged strainer of operating water high pressure side. B. The operating water tank is full of water. C. There is a mixture of seawater in the operating water line. D. Baffle plates that have been bent prior to removal. The answer is A. Clogged strainer of operating water high pressure side. The boiling point of Freon 22 at atmospheric pressure is A. 41 degrees Fahrenheit. B. 31 degrees Fahrenheit. C. 21 degrees Fahrenheit. D. 51 degrees Fahrenheit. The answer is A. 41 degrees Fahrenheit. The part in refrigeration that is used to continuously circulate the refrigerant to the system is the A. Compressor. B. Condenser. C. Receiver. D. Evaporator. The answer is A. Compressor. The thermobulb of solenoid valve in provision refrigeration is connected A. Before the evaporator coil. B. Inside the cooling chambers. C. Outside the meat room. D. All of the above. The answer is B. Inside the cooling chambers. The device used to keep moisture from passing through the refrigeration system is called A. Dehumidifier. B. Aerator. C. Dehydrator. D. All of the above. The answer is C. Dehydrator. The sensor bulb of the expansion valve is situated in Freon system at A. Middle of the evaporator coils. B. Lowest side of the evaporator coil. C. Near the outlet of the evaporator coil. D. Inside the cooling chamber. The answer is C. Near the outlet of the evaporator coil. Gasket material /S used in Freon system is /R. 1. Asbestos. 2. Rubber. 3. Metallic. A1 only. B2 only. C3 only. D1 and 3. The answer is D1 and 3. If there is a leak in Freon system, the flame color of the halide torch will turn to A. Red. B. Violet. C. Green. D. White. The answer is C. Green. The filter dryer in a Freon system is filled with A. Activated alumina. B. Sodium nitrate. C. Sodium compound. D. All of the above. The answer is A. Activated alumina. Passages are drilled at the diesel engine crankshaft to provide lubricating oil into the A. Jacket water inlet. B. Pumps. C. Piston rod bearings. D. Valve. The answer is C. Piston rod bearings. The factor that tends to increase scale formation at the salt water side of the heat exchanger is by A. Operating the engine with a high seawater outlet temperature. B. Baffle plates that have been bent prior to removal. C. Leave the UMS selector switch to UMS model. D. All of the above. The answer is A. Operating the engine with a high seawater outlet temperature. Perfect vacuum is represented by A. 30 inches Hg, B. 25 inches Hg, C. 15 inches Hg, D. 10 inches Hg. The answer is A. 30 inches Hg. Purpose of the injection pump delivery check valve is to A. Prevent carbon deposits from forming at the injection nozzle. B. Help the injector needle recede without dribbling at the nozzle holes. C. Baffle plates that have been bent prior to removal. D. Leave the UMS selector switch to UMS model. The answer is B. Help the injector needle recede without dribbling at the nozzle holes. A port and helix injection pump having upper and lower plunger helixes is designed to A. Vary fuel delivery and return pressure. B. Vary the beginning and ending of injection. C. Baffle plates that have been bent prior to removal. D. All of the above. The answer is B. Vary the beginning and ending of injection. A unit-type fuel injector is used on a diesel engine to 1. Meter the fuel. 2. Produce fuel pressure. 3. Atomize the fuel. A1 only. B2 only. C3 only. D1, 2, and 3. High-pressure fuel pipe between the injections pumps and fuel nozzle needs immediate repair because of the A. High cost of fuel. B. Clogging of the orifices. C. Serious fire hazard. D. Distortion of the spray pattern. Nozzle pintle in a fuel injector usually causes A. Clogging of the orifices. B. High cost of fuel. C. Distortion of the spray pattern. D. Serious fire hazard. Answer is C. Distortion of the spray pattern. Distorted spray pattern from a fuel injector can cause a diesel engine to have A. Lower fuel pressure. B. Clogging of the orifices. C. Less power output.